Yo, what is going on, WBE type people and fans? ItzSawk with another week for the weekly recap, and I am not alone.
Hello, what's going on, WBE? My name is Westside, and let me just pre-apologize. I have a little bit of a cough. I'm going to try not to do it, but just, it's a thing.
And thank you all so much for the love last week. It was amazing to see all the comments and positive feedback coming our way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, one thing I do want to address from that though is I will not be including face cam or the clips from games. This is more of a podcast style, so where you can kind of look at the PNG, kind of sit back, relax on the screen. You don't have you can alt tab and do some homework and glance up. Oh, it's summer,
Ranbat
but I
ladder.
still have homework. Yeah, Ranbat ladder.
There you go.
I still have homework. I don't know about you guys, but yeah.
Nerd.
It takes a lot of time to do this for the WBE, for weekly recaps, making all the PNGs from scratch on a blank slate, watching all the games, making sure we have comments on both of them, and doing this in the span of 2 days while I'm working a full-time job is kind of difficult, so I hope you guys can bear with us for that.
Also, we're both ugly, fat, white dudes, so I don't know if you want to
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to see our ugly mugs.
exactly.
However, what they do want to see are the games.
For sure.
Boy, we got a fun one for the first one. For the first game, we have Joey and his Bronx Bearticks versus the South Texas Sableyes in vivid color.
Yes, sir.
What a game this was.
Yep. Joey brought a team of Volcarona, Bronzong, Mega Gallade, Comfey, Toxapex, and Crocodile. And Vivid brought a team of Mega Sharpedo, Nidoking, Tapu Bulu, Noivern, Mew, and Hawlucha.
And I'm going to start with Vivid here. So the 50-50 on Bronzong versus Nidoking was honestly more like a 75-25 because Flamethrower was free because you outspeed the Toxapex, and you need to kill the Bronzong because that is your best way. Joey was in a position where he didn't have to predict. He could easily, because if he lost Bronzong, he could go into Volcarona and Quiver Dance. So he needed to get rid of Bronzong, so
Yeah,
I don't know. Also, Noivern, super cool. I loved the Noivern set. Flying EMZ with Roost and Defog was some really nice utility for some super strongness.
Yeah. Flying Swim is always really good, especially with a team like Joey didn't bring an actual flying roost. I mean, he brought Bronzong, I'm stupid, but yeah, it's just Bronzong chipped enough, it's just going to do a ton of damage to everything, so yeah, I really like that as well.
Because Bronzong gets chipped so easily.
Yeah.
It has no recovery unless it's Wish Pass 2, and Joey didn't have one on the team this time.
Yep.
But Mega Shark was pretty cool. Sub was nice, and I thought it could have done a little bit more work, but Joey took the one play, the 50-50 with Bronzong and Nidoking. Vivid overpredicted, and Joey got an opening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You'll see that sort of happen a lot this week, where a lot of people just kind of overpredicted in a lot of games, and we start off with one pretty big one here.
Yeah, I'm going to say this a ton this season, but if Joey gets an opening, he's exploiting it and winning.
Yeah.
Like,
He does such a good job of knowing what his win con and prep and just setting it up perfectly. Like, he's just phenomenal at that sort of playstyle.
And Joey is so good at being patient until the exact moment and just aggressing on that turn. And I think it really showed because he even lost Crocodile fairly early on in the game, which was such a cool set.
It really was.
Volcarona came in. Yeah, exactly. Z-Foul play and Sludge Bomb to kill the Bulu was so cool. But yeah, that is kind of that game. Joey did end up winning 3-0 with Volcarona being the kill leader there of 3. So yeah.
Pex picking up 2, just sort of sitting there being a Pex. That's exactly what Pex does.
I don't like Pex.
No one does, but you do when it's on your team.
You're not wrong. Our next game, though, going into it, is the Free State Toracats, which is Duncan Can't Die, versus the Minnesota Vicavolts, which is A-Drive. Now, Duncan brought a team of Jirachi, Blacephalon, Mega Tyranitar, Hitmontop, Zygarde 10%, and Vicavolt, versus Dan's Mega Manetric, Talonflame, Lycanroc, Dusk, Gastrodon, Florges, and Passimian.
Alright, starting this one off, I just want to say that I honestly, watching both sides of the video, I feel like Dan won this game on Team Preview. It really seemed like a lot of his prep and the team he brought really threw Duncan off immediately. And Duncan even said in his team builder that he thought he would get caught up trying to set up the Zydog sweep, and that's exactly what happened. He got too caught up with it, and Dan took complete advantage of that, completely controlling the game from turn 1.
Yeah, Dan was just in control. not over predicting on the first turn was super safe, and it made it really easy. And I don't
Yeah.
understand not scouting for the overheat by going to like T-Tar.
I mean, his thought process was even if he did overheat, he'd be able to get in Psyduck for free, which again lines up with what he said he'd get too caught up in getting the Psyduck sweep.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
yeah, this was just a great example of how not bringing a Pokemon can completely throw your opponent off, because understandably, Duncan really prepped hard for Kieran Black, and Dan just didn't bring it.
Yeah, the one time someone doesn't bring a Pokemon,
Yeah.
it just screws you the entire
Yeah.
over. Something I thought was super cool was even though Duncan was kind of getting quote-unquote thrashed, he still had the end game of Zygarde 10%
Yeah.
still winning, and it easily could have.
It still could have,
because
for sure.
Gastrodon went down.
Yeah, he still, he still had his play, and if he even said that if he kept Extreme Speed, he could have very well had a chance to bring that back. So, again, it's not that it's just Dan, played that very well. His Passimian set was great, and his Lycanroc put in a ton of work. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Lycanroc did a lot of work, and as you guys will notice, it was a 4-0, but Duncan only got one kill. That's because Mega Tyranitar does not get a kill for the passive Sand on Blacephalon. So I figured I'd shout that out there quick.
It's true.
Mhm.
Again, it looks like a lopsided game, but Duncan played that as well as he could.
Oh, absolutely.
And he still, had a
Duncan-
way to win in the end game. So, again,
Yeah, it just came down to him clicking E-Speed, which I don't think he brought. I don't remember.
no, he did not. He took it off last
Yeah,
round.
yep. But yeah, it was a really fun game, and it was never fully over.
Absolutely.
Let's get into our next game, which is the Los Angeles Spice, coached by K-Cray, versus the Milwaukee Sawsbucks, coached by Magnitude.
Game, oh my god, so painful.
Do you want to explain what game?
So, Steve brought a team of Mega Garchomp, Azelf, Heatmore, Clefable, Thunderous Therian, and Aggron. KK brought a team of Magnezone, Mega Houndoom, Ninetales, Garchomp, Mimikyu, and Starmie. And first off, I just want to point out, Spider-Man pointing meme, turn 1, they both led with the Garchomps, so just, gotta point out memes when you can. But, yeah, this was just, this game was painful. On Steve's behalf, the poor man, he made some really bad overplays early, predicting, the switch out of the Garchomp early, and he went for Earthquake instead of trying to kill it. She just clicked Rocks. He made, I believe, another overplay with the Azelf U-turning, taking unnecessary chip from Rough Skin, but yeah, it's just, at the end of the day, Hacks is a win con. What else can you say?
Yeah, the lefty sturdy protect Magnezone was really, really solid in my
I
opinion.
really like that. Switching in on Rocks, getting, being able to click Protect and then get leftovers back and still have your sturdy intact. That's a really cool bring. The Sucker Punch 50-50 with Heatmore and Garchomp was good on both sides. K-Cray clicked SD to outplay the Sucker Punch because the Heatmore would have died to Toxic, but Steve just clicked Stomach Tantrum. Sorry about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another thing worth pointing out, Shadow Sneak by K-Cray was pretty solid on the Thundy, not letting that thing get out of hand, and honestly I felt like she set up a little bit too early with Mimikyu because I couldn't touch the aggro. Had she run Drain Punch, she just swept with Mimikyu there, but, Hex is a win con, smiley face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hex is definitely a win con, but
Couple
yeah,
of pretty
that
big
is...
crits in that game. Should probably point those
absolutely.
out. The Z Earthquake from Garchomp onto Mega Garchomp, and a Flash Cannon crit from Magnezone onto Clefable were the two big ones that really changed the course of this game.
Yeah, I think the early one too kind of threw Steve off as a game, which kind of caused him to make a couple misplays.
Yeah.
But that is that. Really, really hacks intensive game.
It's a win con, man.
It is a win con, which is why Jirachi's so scary.
Yep.
But moving into our next game, you know who else is scary? Wolf. Wolf-Click and his Milwaukee Bewares.
Congrats
versus
on winning
Pittsburgh
the
Pichus.
international, by the way.
Yeah, congrats to Wolf-Click. Can we get a congrats Wolf-Click in the comment section?
Or Bird Up,
Thank you.
more appropriately.
Bird up,
There we
yeah. Bird up or yeet, as he's been saying in his games.
Oh, God.
He's quickly turning into one of my favorites to watch this season, just because his commentary is very relaxed, and he'll just meme around.
Yep, gotta love it.
And if you know us, you know we love our memes.
We love our yeets and our memes. But Wolf brought a team of... Oh god, I've lost it. Sorry. He brought a Gigalith, Duosion, Tornadus T, Virizion, Mandibuzz, and Gengar. Next is brought a team of Zapdos, Mega Medicham, Swampert, Goodra, Skuntank, and X-Cloud.
Now, Nexus, the miss on Heat Wave was very crucial. Charty Berry on... And I'm talking about Zapdos here. Charty Berry on the so much work
Virizion
against
went
you.
in this matchup, dude. SD, 3 attacks with Rocky MZ. Just, yeah, phenomenal.
Toxicing it would have been so much nicer because you can get damage off on it after, making sure that it doesn't stay around for too long because it just sat in front of you and Swords Danced because you missed.
And then Wolf double toxicking early with Gigalith. He let Gigalith toxic the, I believe it was Zapdos, and then toxicked again on the next turn on the Swampert coming in with just god tier plays. Double toxic is always solid to see.
I think the quote that sums this game up is from Wolf. I'm Swords Dancing, duh. I'm Swords Dancing, yeet. Like, that sums up the entire game in my opinion.
I
also,
don't remember if Nexus was
kill.
Sapsip or Gudra, but it still took a ton. It takes a ton from +2 close combat anyway, so I'm not sure Sapsipper would have mattered. Again, I apologize. I don't remember if he was Sapsipper. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, we watched so many games, so many commentaries. Small details sometimes get lost in the coding.
Speaking of small details, another thing I want to point out: Wolf did a very good job of keeping rocks off the field this game.
Yes, yes, very much so. And I think the silliest thing is Duosion got another kill.
Hey man, Duosion's a good Pokemon.
It is, but I love how in Wolf's commentary, he was almost panicking, thinking Gudra would hit itself in confusion and Duosion wouldn't get its kill.
Hey man, you gotta get him where you can get him.
Absolutely, but yeah, I can respect the hustle. Yeah. Something I do want to point out, though, from Nexus' side is Mega Medicam actually had a decent matchup in this game. Like, if Tornadus went down, it had a decent matchup, because you look at it, Gigalith, goodbye. It's going to hurt the Virizion, it's going to hurt the Mandibuzz, and Gengar's not going to want to live one, because I don't think it can OHKO a Mega Medicam.
Gengar?
But yeah, I don't think Gengar OHKOs.
It would depend on Nexus's Spadef investor, but
he had a little
Duosion
bit of
just sits in front of it, so
yeah, that's not wrong. But yeah, Mega Medicam had a decent matchup. I wish I could have seen it do a little bit more work. Yeah, it had a decent matchup. I'm not saying it had a fantastic matchup, but it had a decent one.
But this is a Mega Medicam
used a little bit better. Yeah, exactly. Remember, Hacks is a win con.
Yeah.
Moving into the craziest game of the week, the New York Marauders, which is coached by Mr. Talent, versus the New Orleans Pelipers, coached by Pokemon 7. Pokemon brought Slowbro, Mega Diancie, Salamence, Magneton, Mudsdale, and Salazzle. And New York brought the Nihilego, the worst Pokemon known in existence, Buzzwole, Gourgeist, Latias, and Gyarados. I'll say it once, I'll say it again, I hate Empoleon. I hate Empoleon. I hate Empoleon.
Who hurt you?
A lot of people.
Okay, well, I mean... Speaking of Empoleon, that set was great.
That set was fire.
Yeah. But a lot of things to point out in prep. I really like John's Slowbro set. He was Tangaberry, 3 attacks with Slack Off. His Mudsdale set was even better. You guys know I love me some Mudsdale. HP flying Mudsdale. Can we get a round of applause for that?
I think that's my new favorite animation, is Mudsdale kicking the hidden power. I think that's my new favorite animation.
Yeah, another couple things to point out in prep. Mr. Talent knew that Scarf Magneton was coming in the Steam Builder, so good prep there. Something I want to point out as well, respect knowing Mr. Talent for knowing how broken Frisk is on Gourgeist. Frisk is the most broken ability in format. Do not at me. Just knowing something's item immediately is great. I loved dual screens in the Heligo, and remember to put your Z-moves on your Mons. That's really all I got to say about prep in that regard.
I really, like JB said, the Gyarados being 1 point faster than the Scarf Magneton was super, super nice. Forgetting the Z-move, not super, super nice.
Yeah.
However, something I'm kind of learning against Mr. Talent is Scarf Bolt Beam is very troublesome for him. Like a decent Bolt Beam, his only real stop is like Assault Vest Nihilego, which is a set I've seen before.
It's a set.
It's a set that I've seen once.
Yeah. I mean, he has checks to each move individually, but checking both with one Pokemon is a little bit rough for his roster in particular.
Yeah, especially on the team he brought this week.
Yeah.
The only thing that could have stopped it was like a Spadef Buzzwole. And Spadef Buzzwole is a set. I don't recommend it.
Nah. Unless you're AV, but that's different.
Yeah.
You're usually more offensive.
Then you lose on Roost, which is one of Buzzwole's best sets in my opinion.
Something else interesting to note is that in the first 2 weeks, John has really prepped a lot for offensive fighting types. He prepped, over-prepped week 1 for Joey's Braylon. He prepped really hard for Buzzwole here. So maybe, you know, take that down as something to potentially bring against them in the future.
And
specifically fighting types with coverage for Slowbro, so, you know, Slowbro's a good fighting type check, but just unlucky matchups on paper, I guess.
Speaking of John's prep, Scarf Mens did so much work. It was the perfect set, in my opinion.
Yep. Scarface Flying Sleep Pog.
Yeah, that's like, you don't see Hidden Power Flying Mens unless you're playing in Gen 3.
Yeah. He did a really good job of just like switching it out and being able to switch up moves. He played his sax very well, considering it's a one of them, you kind of have to do that. The non-scarf bluff to defog on Latios was great because it allowed him to get a kill later, like, you know, not having revealed that he was a Scarf Lottie. And something else I want to point out about Mr. Talent's side is if your plan was to win with that agility, weakness policy, and play on, maybe you wanted to prioritize getting dual screens up a little bit earlier when the hell I go. That really would have helped that thing sweep. But hey, you know, it's hindsight.
Yeah, hindsight's 2020. It was a really, really cool set. Yeah, it just didn't work.
It got a couple kills. It's just, you know, you have dual screens up and you probably win that game.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all my notes.
Or
I can't
for Scarf Mens too. Probably should mention that.
Yeah, I can't really like say a certain play that would have helped Talent a lot in the end game because Scarf Mens was so good. Yeah. It was literally the
keeping Scarf Lottie, his own Lottie alive was really all he could do. But no.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it to die to the Mega Dancing it just did, so.
Yeah. And the absolute jaw of John when he died and lost his Magneton, I think his jaw hit the floor.
I must have missed that.
I remember watching that. It was great. But yeah. It was a crazy game, and if you guys haven't seen it, I highly, highly recommend it. It's my personal game of the week.
Oh, yeah, same, I guess. Yeah, I gotta go with K-Cray because Texas WinCon.
We're gonna say that just a couple times.
Hey man, it's true.
Something else we might say a couple times are these next two battlers. The Rochester Ride-Ons, coached by Iron Boffin, versus the Toronto Togekiss, coached by Heaton Mo.
Boffin brought a team of Weavile, Metagross, Rhydon, Mega Altaria, Jolteon, and Spiritomb. Mo brought a team of Raikou, Cobalion, Mega Absol, Uxie, Whimsicott, and Blastoise.
Yeah, this game was very interesting in my opinion. Scarf Blastoise was such a nice bring,
it really was.
And it stopped Boffin from doing a lot. Yeah. Shoutouts to Scarf Turtles, yo.
I'd love just, you know, bringing a random Mon offensive 1 week that you really wouldn't expect. You can just, you know, catch your opponent off guard, and that's exactly what it did here.
Yeah, exactly. Good use of innovative prep.
Yep. Speaking of prep, I love Boffin's prep. He showed how easily you can run really bulky teams against Mo. It just so happens it didn't really matter all that much because, yeah, you know, he ended up losing the game in the end. But it's just, you know, goes to show that if you can have a ton of speed, but it allows your opponent to really bring in a lot of bulk and a lot of, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, and Mo mentioned it in his commentary. Trick Room kind of screws him over, as we noticed last week with K-Cray putting in Trick Room Mimikyu. But yeah, something that he's going to get exploited later on, so he may be able to do a couple of transactions with this. But Boffin, Scald was so spammable against your team, and that first turn burn really didn't help you. Something I've seen a lot done before, though, is calcing how much speed your opponent needs, and calc that HP into yours to try to see if your Z move kills. I'm talking about Metagross not killing the Mega Absol.
Yeah.
Because in his commentary, he's had a very high chance to kill. Well, it looks like it lived kind of comfortably. So double check to see what speed they need, and then dump the rest into their HP, and then calc for that.
Understandable. Another thing, like, there was no real reason for him to be adamant on his Rhydon. Like, if you don't need that attack to Oko something, just run more Spadef so you can take stuff like Scald better. Potentially live one of those Star Scalds with your Rhydon.
Yeah.
But one thing, I have to point this out. Synchronize Jolteon. I love you. But yeah. Yeah.
Mega Absol has Magic Bounce, so rocks will bounce back, Mo.
This is true. Couple things I want to point out on Mo's side. It's, you know, we're almost done with Sword and Shield. You gotta know about that Prankster nerf, man. He, I believe, clicked Memento on the Spiritomb. Like, that's just something you have to know at this point in the gen. But I do want to say that Mo did a very good job of forcing sacks for Cobalion late game. Had he just gotten the flinch or the roll on Mega All, he would have just won right then and there with Cobalion. So he did a very good job of forcing sacks and setting it up for Cobalion to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Mega Altario is dope until I realized Cobalion hard stops it if it's Shuka or it was Rock Polish with Iron Hand, which Mo ended up bringing.
Yeah.
But you look at Mo's team, Mega Altario kind of went to town.
Yeah, if it got set up, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And that I loved the Mega Altario that he did end up
he was just
bringing.
kind of forced to do it like later in the game than he probably wanted to. It's something that if you got it set up like earlier on like a Blastoise or something that wasn't a Scarf Blastoise or maybe on Uxie, that could have put in a little bit more work there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just something to look for later on. It was a really cool set, and I very much do look forward to seeing it.
It's just like the way his team was constructed, he didn't really give himself a lot of opportunity to ever click Dragon Dance without taking a big hit with Mega Altaria.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving into our last game of the week, we have the Tennessee Trubbish, coached by Deathly I Am, versus the Newcastle Needle Kings, with one word this time.
Hey.
In Patters. I read the comments. Deathly ended up bringing a team of Rotom-Mow, Celesteela, Mega Beedrill, Kofagrigus, Emboar, Gligar, and Patters ended up bringing Tapu Koko, Typhlosion, Snorlax, Hippowdon, Escavalier, and Mega Gyarados. Alright, so a couple of things to note quick was Quick Claw Kofagrigus actually popped.
Hey, nice and 20%.
It was kind of... I remember watching Patters' side the first... Because I watched Patters' side first, and then I watched Deathly's. I saw the Quick Claw popped, and I just started shaking my head. I'm like, really?
Hey.
A better item couldn't have been used? Like, I get Quick Claw's cool, and it's a nice meme when it works.
Yeah.
But I feel like Cobra Berry would have helped so much against something like Crunch Hippowdon, which easily could have been brought, or something like Knockoff Escavalier, or a Mega Gyarados.
Just sitting right there.
Yeah, like there's so much stuff that could have been brought for the Kofag. Although it did put in work getting rid of Mega Gyarados' ability and Escavalier's.
Yep, that's fair.
The biggest thing
to
to
note,
note,
you
though,
just run Scarf Willow anyway, but hey.
I mean, not wrong. But definitely, Mega Beedrill is so good! Your team getting shipped did not help Mega B, because if you look at his team, as in Patters' team, he only has one Mon with reliable recovery in Hippowdon with Slack Off. Like, you get rid of Hippowdon, and you start to whittle down his team, Mega Beedrill could have easily won this game.
Yeah, just looking at the matchup on paper, like the 6-day Bride, get rid of Hippowdon, get rid of the Escavalier, and you literally just click buttons with Beedrill.
Yeah, exactly. I love Mega Beedrill so much.
I didn't, I missed
yes.
Patters' team builder, but yeah, that also could have just cleaned
Yep.
the game, and I'm assuming it did.
Yeah, it did.
Fourth of all, I completely forgot this game existed. I apologize to everyone involved. My bad.
But yeah, I ended up watching this game. This was the first one I watched, and this was honestly a very fun game. And Patters set up for the end game so well, leaving Chip on Rotom-Mow so Typhlosion can come on in with Scarf, killing the Rotom-Mow and killing the Celesteela with it. Mm-hmm. Something to note though is Gligar did absolutely nothing. Like, I want the round 2 god to do something.
It either lives every hit or just dies. I feel like that's the cursed existence of Gligar.
Yeah. But something was really cool is not Z-moving on the Celesteela's Protect on Patters' side with the Tapu Koko. And then Z-moving after the Protect kind of made it look like a nice read, even though in his commentary he said, oh, I should have Z-moved there, It made it look like a nice prediction on Deathly's side.
We take this.
Absolutely. But yeah, this is a really, really cool game, and I do highly recommend taking a peep at it. But yeah. One thing to note, though, was Rocks and Celesteela was getting his own Rocks up against Celesteela was really nice, and it put Deathly on the back foot within the first 4 turns, and Deathly really never came back from it.
Sure.
Like, once Kofag went down, he just was pressured so much by Patters' offense. So it may be something for him to look in maybe like a transaction to see if he can add a little bit more bulk that's reliable for him. It may have just been this matchup, but something to look into.
For sure.
But yeah, that is our side of the recaps. We are the Shield Division.
Sword.
I'll get it right this time. Darn it! We're the Sword Division. I'm gonna get that wrong so many times. But yeah, if you guys are again wondering, where the heck are the other 7 games? There were 14 games played. There's 28 coaches. The math doesn't add up. Dr. Slacking and Jacob, as always, have you covered later or before, whenever this video is live. They have the other one. Be sure to check out the WBE channel to see that, because they are covering the other game. So if there's a coach in here who's like, I wanted to see Jodor's game, I wanted to see Aaron Cybertron Zhang game, I wanted to see Galactic Elliot's game, anything like that, go on there. They got that recap for you. JB, do you have any last words before we send the people off to have a fantastic afternoon?
Hashtag disable ad block.
Shout out to the one comment that said it last time.
I have somewhere. Sand Dunes. Shout out. That guy.
Sand Dunes. Shout out Sand Dunes. But yeah, with that, we are going to get on out of here today, guys. Be sure to drop a comment letting us know what you guys did enjoy. Any feedback you have for us. Be sure to like the video if you guys did enjoy. Any feedback, again, is appreciated. And subscribe for more content for the WBE channel. With that, we're going to get on out of here today, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic afternoon, and peace out, Scouts.
Peace.